Hey Speen, good to have you over on my Patreon now. Let's go and take a look at these clips and see what we can notice. Do, 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 do. Okay. We'll go and look at these in more detail. I'm just seeing the camera angles we have available. For back free, we'll start with the back free since it's not the main concern. Powder takeoff, so I'm going to be very forgiving on the actual takeoff because that's tough conditions. Good takeoff, good snap, good upper body hinge, pulling it around. Yeah, dude. What? That's sick. On this flat light, on that takeoff, this good of a back free, absolutely fantastic. Uh, yeah, you're crunching down into it. Arms getting caught up a little bit. You'd definitely be ready to start adding higher level principles to get up to 540 and 720. This is a really strong base. Yeah, really strong base. I'd recommend starting to do like front foot to back foot like shifting motions. Here, I'll show you. So like I think you should start training going and starting from like your front foot coming up and snapping through your back foot. So when you go up to like back fives or like back sevens eventually if you want to, then you have that base in. So literally all you need to do to train this is practice your setup carve, your wind up, and then snapping. And instead of just snapping and like dropping through this position, instead try to go and snap and then take your hips and close them and push them towards that back foot. So that way you're getting the practice of throwing over your tail. Because right now if you tried like a bigger spin, you might go and get stopped a little bit here and it might make it throw a little downward. So I think it's good for you to start training your hips coming here and then falling through towards your tail. If you want to do bigger tricks, because yeah, this is freaking money, man. Very sick. Ooh. Okay, here we go. This looks like a better angle. Dude, I'm surprised you're not landing any of these. These are really solid. Let's see what's going on here. This might take a little bit more technical of a breakdown. So, okay, let's go. Oh, from the very start. And yeah, adding the bend into your toe edge, nice and patient. Waiting to wind up, really good. The one thing that we can notice on the takeoff that isn't quite ideal is see how your legs are starting here in this position, and then as you wind up, they're still traveling. This is putting your weight pretty far away from your snowboard, so the fix for this is really easy, and that is either increase the radius of your setup carve, so that way you have like a bit more time coming like that, or go and come in on a little bit less of an angle. See how you're pointed like all the way over here? If you just had yourself pointed like more over here, that would probably fix the problem. And that would help you stay a little bit more tall over your board. Pre-spinning isn't an issue. Snapping isn't an issue. The spot is really good. Landing a little under-rotated. Okay. So basically the issue is with how you're doing it right now. As you're landing, you're too bent forward looking at the landing, so you don't have any room in the body left to absorb the impact. This is going to have to be coming from how you're spotting. An upper body angle. One sec. Okay, that is a little bit of a tricky one, but I think we figured it out here. So two things that I think you need to change. The first is your takeoff is just slightly kicking out a little bit too far away from you. See how your center of mass is just too far away from your snowboard? So adjusting that takeoff thing will help you get more vertical height. That will really help. The other thing on the takeoff is your upper body snapped a little bit much. This is more of a snap we'd want on like a frontside 720, this amount of snap. Because of just the axis rotation, it's going to put you on a little bit too complex to cover here, but having your max snap range be a little bit less rotated in the upper body will also help you stay a little bit more vertical. But the real main issue here is, one second, let me just pull this clip to the right zone. The main issue here is your spot. So see how your spot is starting really nice. Yeah, let's go. Looking down at the knuckle, and you're looking down at the knuckle really fantastic the whole way. Eyes locked on the knuckle, locked on it. But then you're going and keeping your eyes pointed downwards like this. So instead of having your eyes like naturally on the knuckle and then as you go over it having your body rotate past, you're sort of keeping your head in the same position. And this is just making it so your spot is too much at the ground here. This is going to sound a little bit counterintuitive, but we sort of want your spot to be aimed a bit more up here at like the actual start of the knuckle. Basically what's happening here is because you're letting your spot continue downwards this whole time and not having it like naturally shift uphill with your body isn't coming out of its frontside 360 position. And the only way to keep your eyes locked onto this point is to make sure that your upper body's really bent forward. So this is making it so you're just way too lean forward coming into the landing. If we go and look at my landing here, you can see that it starts on the knuckle just like yours, holding it on the knuckle, but then once I get over the knuckle, my spot is like just shifting a little bit less down and around. So even though I have bend here in my body and bend in everything, it's enough that I can go and get enough of my weight push down throughout my snowboard. So the change here you need to make is extremely subtle, like you're really close. Really the only change is instead of trying to force your head to be looking down, instead I want you to try exaggerate looking at the knuckle. I'm not doing it the best here. I just did a bunch of airbag training and one of the downsides is you stop spotting like you're really supposed to on snow, so I'm still bouncing back from that. So I'll do a bigger demo here. When you're currently doing your frontside 360, if the knuckle of the jump is like here, you're coming and rotating, keeping yourself going, and then as you pass it, you're keeping your spot shifted like this. So see how that's making me like crunch and sort of bend down? Combine that with your weight being slightly off from a takeoff, it's making it so you're just very top heavy. So as you try to impact, you're falling forward. So what we need to do is keep everything a little more vertical. So less aggressive on the toe edge, coming in more casual, toe edge, heel edge going straighter, wind up, snapping, and aiming to leave the snap around here or like here instead of all the way over here. That's more than you need. One of the things that'll help with this is not reaching for the grab too soon, because right now you're sort of reaching for the grab and that's making it so you pull and overextend a little bit. So be patient on the grab, come up, around, leave off here, and this should hopefully keep you a bit more vertical. Spot here, and then as you pass the knuckle, here, let me try back up. As you pass the knuckle, instead of going and keeping your head concaving at it, I want you to like let it travel back uphill with it. So you're hopefully landing in like this position right here, what will let you go and disperse your weight into your snowboard. So the difference is right now you're landing a little bit like this, rounded up here, so that's making so too much of your weight goes away from your snowboard. We need to just keep this a little bit vertical, more vertical in the spine, a little more pointed. So that might be something for like the whole spin. Right now you might be rounding the whole spine into that grab and then holding that rounded position. So when you come into the landing, it's a little bit rounded like that. So we need to go and get you a little bit more tall off the jump. Yeah, we could get away with getting a little more tall because landing too toe heavy is your problem. So a little bit more having your chest come up instead of down, so don't reach for that grab so soon. Get that air time, snap less, and then try to keep your upper body in a more casual, a bit upright position, trying to keep your back more straight. So that way when you come into the landing, you can keep your eyes looking back uphill and you can try to absorb it into that strong position. It's a little bit of a confusing one to try demo here. Let me try one more time looking at your footage now, and we'll see. We'll look at this one and break this one down and figure it out from here. So as you snap, see how your upper body's just snapped a little bit too much, and that's making it so it's going to be hard to hold that spot. Yeah, see how you're needing to delay your spot a little bit as your body catches up to your spin because of that? And because you're delaying your spot, what's happening? Your axis rotation is set like too far over here. Really close, dude. It's really close. It's really close. It's only a matter of time before you land these. Let's see how you're coming into the landing. Yeah, so see how you're coming into a landing and your upper body's already completely collapsed 90? This is just too much for strength. We really need it a little bit more up. Does seem like your head's a little under rotated here, but under rotation it's increasing for impact. Also looks like a pretty flat landing. Okay, final little bit of advice. Sorry for a bit of a tangent here. This was a bit of a tricky one. I think all you need to do is snap your upper body a little less off the lip. Just mellow out that setup carve, mellow out that snap, and that will make it so you'll be staying more upright, you'll be a little bit more over your board, and you won't need to go and stall out your rotation, hold your head there as unnaturally. If we go and look at my clip just one more time here, if that's possible. I know it's a slightly bigger jump, but really not that much bigger. The only difference I can really see is my back arm isn't dropping into a landing. I'm more stacked over top of my snowboard. I'm rotating my shoulders like a good 45, if not like 60 degrees less than you. So I really think those are the key things there. And because of that, as I rotate, I can hold the spot over the same point, and I don't need to like delay it. See how my body's rotating through the whole point, where you're getting that little bit of a stall there? And that's just letting me keep a little bit more top of my board, a little more athletic. And then the only difference we're hitting in practicality is I'm getting a little bit more rotation because I have a comfier point to rotate. I'm not stalling it. And as I land, my upper body's still slightly angled up. This isn't a perfect landing by any means. I'd want to land a little bit more angled like this, with my upper body rotated more uphill, spotting like here. This is sort of in between going spotting downhill, so not the best reference thing, but just showing that you're literally from this and like 30 degrees of rotation away from landing. If you get your upper body from this position to this position and rotate a little bit more, you're going to be landing this every single time. Even just getting your upper body here, even with that under rotation, you'll be landing. And the key to that's going to be that takeoff position we were talking about before.